The sheer amount of corruption in this Trump administration is almost comical, and few people are quite as bad at hiding their interests as Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Listening to a lot of your discussion and a lot of the messages that you provide to people, you talk a lot about corporate influence and corruption in government. And this is an area that's very important to me, and it's an area that I do a lot of work in. I am, as a public servant, completely financially divested of any conflicts of interest with any healthcare companies, any stocks, any lawsuits that I would financially benefit from. Are you?
Yes.
You're completely divested?
Yes.
You have no financial interest in any lawsuit, crypto, none of that?
No. Oh, okay. Crypto? I own Bitcoin.
Okay. And do you have any other securities or assets?
I don't. I mean, I had to go through this with the Office of Government Ethics, and I had a few interests that were very minor that I divested.
Okay, just checking. I'd always like to.
Oh, it's a good question.
I always like to know
what
the field is before I enter conversations. So thank you for that. In the healthcare space, something that we've both spoken to is that some of the worst actors are in the for-profit medical space. Are in for-profit health insurance, big pharma, et cetera. And one of the worst companies, actually, is United Healthcare in this respect. United Healthcare is the largest health insurance company in the country. They are the largest employer of doctors and own thousands of pharmacies, clinics, surgery centers, and home health agencies, as well as hospice providers. Secretary Kennedy, are you aware that President Trump's Department of Justice is reportedly investigating United Healthcare for criminal insurance fraud in some of their for-profit health insurance plans, like Medicare Advantage?
I'm not aware of that investigation.
You are not aware that the Trump Department of Justice is investigating the largest insurance company in America that
I'm not aware of
for fraud in Medicare Advantage?
No, I'm not aware of that.
That you have jurisdiction over?
It doesn't surprise me.
Okay. In your submitted testimony, you said HHS takes seriously our role as responsible stewards of taxpayer dollars. Are you aware that for-profit insurance corporations like United Healthcare have been found to be defrauding public dollars of more than $80 billion a year?
I'm not aware of that number, but I'm aware that there's fraud across the for-profit sector.
Respectfully, Secretary Kennedy, if we're making decisions around waste, fraud, and abuse, this is the largest source of waste, fraud, and abuse of public dollars in the public insurance space.
You say $80 million?
$80 billion a year.
Did you say 80 million or 80 billion?
80 with a B. Billion.
With a B.
Yeah. If that's the case, why did you nearly double the rate that taxpayer dollars give for-profit insurance companies like United next year, if you don't know those things?
Double the rate? How did I do that?
So your agency nearly doubled the taxpayer dollars that for-profit insurance corporations like United will be paid next year, meaning these companies, the largest of whom is under investigation, criminal investigation by the Trump administration, will be receiving an additional $25 billion from your agency.
How is that happening?
I would be happy to submit to the congressional record evidence of this. I will enter the CMS press release from April 7th of 2025 into the record, which states that Medicare Advantage corporations will now receive a 5.06% increase in payments next year under your jurisdiction, Mr. Secretary.
Well,
this is up from 2.2%.
I mean, what rate
without
is
objection
proposed from the Biden administration. You are doubling the rate that the Biden...
The gentlelady's time has
criminally
expired.
Investigated companies.
The gentlelady's time has expired.
You've emphasized throughout your career concerns about corruption and conflicts of interest in healthcare, yes?
About corruption in healthcare?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you've pledged during your confirmation hearing and then again today, quote, radical transparency, yes?
Yes.
Yes. And you explained to my colleague from New York that you divested yourself, yes?
Yes.
And you fired the 17 members of ACIP because you think they have conflicts of interest, yes?
Yes.
And do you think that everybody within Health and Human Services at a senior level should hold themselves to a standard of radical transparency and divestment?
Well, I'm going to hold them to that standard, but
So not everybody should hold themselves to a standard of
yeah,
radical
everybody, and the OGE makes them all divest.
So everybody should divest and everybody should be radically transparent. Who works for you?
Yes.
Yes. And does that include people who have involvement in Health and Human Services policymaking, even if they're not in your department? Would you want them to be radically transparent as well?
I don't have any control over anybody except those in my department.
Well, I think you do. Let's talk, though, about how radically transparent you have been to date, because I want to ensure for the American public that they're getting what you pledged. Mr. Kelly Means is a special government employee. He's also a White House advisor. You know him well. He actually introduced you to Donald Trump. And he's the founder and the owner of TrueMed. Now, TrueMed is a company that sells saunas and supplements and maybe medical devices that you described to people with using pre-tax dollars. And he has described his mission as routing federal funds away from health insurance programs towards these health savings accounts. Now, Mr. Means has tremendous influence over Medicare and Medicaid based on the executive order on Making America Healthy Again and the One Big Beautiful Bill, which both call for the expansion of HSA usage for these wellness and supplement products. So that's a direct revenue stream for his company while he's working in the government. So my question is, would you require Mr. Means to sign the financial disclosure forms that you're very familiar with?
I have no power to do that, but I find it interesting that you bring that up.
I'm going to reclaim my time.
Pharmaceutical companies have been in the White House for generations.
This is
none of you
my time,
about
Secretary, my time. Would you require, in keeping with radical transparency, that this individual who you're very close with, who has a major role in shaping MAHA agenda, and you have said so yourself publicly and many times, would you require him, before working on the MAHA agenda, that he sign those disclosure forms?
I have no power to require that. I can require people in my agency, and I've done that.
Will you continue to work with him if he does not sign those forms? With Mr. Means, will you continue working with him if he does not sign those forms?
I work with everybody, including all the pharmaceutical companies.
Do you think that he should respond to the letter that I wrote? Do you think that he should respond to the letter that I wrote requiring him, or asking him, I should say, to be transparent about potential conflicts of interest between TrueMed and CMS and the MAHA agenda? Is that something that he should do, in your opinion, in keeping with divestment? I mean, because you said, sir,
you wrote me a letter.
He said, sir, you said before.
Are you saying you wrote me a letter?
I wrote Mr. Means a letter asking him to respond. Do you think he should respond?
That's between you and him. As I said, there's been pharmaceutical companies for
said,
generations in the White House and nobody complained about
Secretary, you said that everybody who works on health policy should follow high standards of radical transparency and divestment. So I've asked him questions about whether he's done that. Should he, in keeping with what you just said at the top of this, should he be radically transparent?
Let me ask you this. Have you accepted $400,000 from pharmaceutical companies?
The reason you know that is because I have financial disclosure forms, and I'm asking him to submit the same thing. So should he do the same thing? Because when he doesn't, let's talk about what happened. Let's talk about Mr. Brad Smith.
Should you be prevented from accepting money from pharmaceutical companies? Because it says here you've accepted $400,000.
Mr. Kennedy, you asked Ms. Ocasio-Cortez, how did I do that when she talked about the higher rates given to the Medicare Advantage organizations? I actually have an answer for you. How did that happen? The answer is Mr. Brad Smith. So he was in charge of DOJ Healthcare, and his biggest investors at his company, Main Street Health, are the Medicare Advantage organizations, the 5 biggest health insurance corporations in America. They're his investors. He owns this company. They own him. And while he was there, he set the rules and reimbursements for CMS to hook up his investors. So I'm going to answer the question that you asked Ms. Ocasio-Cortez. It is because of conflicts of interest. Do you think that CMS should continue to do business with Main Street Health under your watch? Is that radically transparent?
Are you saying that we should cut Medicare Advantage?
Do you think that Main Street Health should continue to do business with Medicare and Medicaid given the conflicts of interest?
Are you saying we should cut Medicare Advantage?
Mr. Kennedy, your dissembling and diversion distracts from the fact that you refuse to be radically transparent with either Mr. Means or Mr. Smith. I'm going to enter for the record now documents.
You didn't give any money to United.
Claims. Auchincloss oversight letters to Means and the board of TrueMed and Main Street.
Without objection.
all submitted.
The gentleman's time has expired.
RFK Jr. is a walking warning of what happens when you take his theories to their logical conclusion. So don't eat ultra-processed foods, eat a tuna sandwich every day and just get mercury poisoning. Don't take your prescribed meds, take heroin instead. Don't eat big meat, eat roadkill. It's kind of like Liver King, influencer, pseudoscience, and honestly, Maha couldn't be a better name for it. It's whimsical, but dangerous, in a sort of adding a shot of colloidal silver to make your raw milk shiny kind of way. RFK Jr. might be the most incompetent person in this entire administration, though he does have some stiff competition. But just like the rest of Trump's goons, RFK Jr. cannot stand up to questioning. As soon as he's confronted with his own team's corruption, he's suddenly completely clueless about what he's doing or who he even works with. These people aren't serious about ending corruption. If they were, they wouldn't be courting the same for-profit companies that commit the majority of the waste, fraud, and abuse they claim to be against.